Hi students, welcome to our next series in our data analytics. So in this lecture series, now we'll be discussing about three important topics about the crowdsourcing analytics, inter and trans firewall analytics, and how the R&D approaches are really helping the organizations. Okay, so first we'll go with our first topic called as the crowdsourcing analytics. Now what do we mean by crowdsourcing? Before understanding what actually the crowdsourcing is, let us take a case study. Now you can see that one of the Netflix, I think all of you might be knowing what is a Netflix, one of the very leading online DVD and movies industry. Now first they announced a particular context wherein which they wanted to design a predictive model. So for recommending the movies based on the previous rating, whatever the users who have watched the movies, they wanted one model through which they can recommend the movies for various customers, or we can say the audience who are really watching various movies, and they kept a grand prize also for this. Now what this Netflix did is that they were having one particular model, but still they wanted to have some other ideas, and what they did, they announced one particular price and they announced it to the open source, or we can say the other general public. Whoever is able to give us a predictive model for recommending the movies, they are all welcome. So what they did is that they outsourced. Right, so we generally know what is the meaning of outsourcing the job right now in the IT industry. So we generally outsource. See, some work is given to us. Now maybe infrastructure we may be not having, or the manpower, human resource we may not be having. So what we generally do is that we outsource this particular work to some third party or someone else we try to outsource. So generally we use this particular term in the industry. Now here we are talking of crowdsourcing, not outsourcing. What crowdsourcing is that now in outsourcing we just give the what you can say the task to the other people. Now here outsourcing means we are trying to give the task, or we are trying to give it to the other people whom we don't know, or in general we can say in the internet we just put one task and we say that whoever is able to do this task, you can get this particular rewards or an award, whatever may be given by that particular company. That's how we can term it as a outsourcing. Okay, so it's the crowd sourcing. So even some of the companies, like say a small Australian company called as Kaggle. Now for any data analytics, now when you look for any data science students who are doing lot of we can say small project at the initial level, or even at the more level also. Now this particular organization Kaggle, it's a very good company wherein which you get lot of what you say data sets is available at free of cost. You can get lot of data sets. Similarly, this small Australian company called as Kaggle, now they describe the term called as outsourcing, how it can be done. So they told that outsourcing is an innovative solution for any analytics or any statistical way in which you want to do the decision. So what this company did is that government organization or the research laboratories or major companies or corporations, now from them they started to get a lot of problems, or we can say challenges, right? Every organization or the government or the research, they might be having some problems which they find it very difficult to solve with using their manpower. Now what they did, this company, what they did, they took those problems from those particular organization, along with they got the data set and they converted that as a problem definition. They converted that problem as a, like say, a contest, right? They converted the problem as a contest and they post in their website. So whoever can log in, or whoever are interested into that particular problem, now you can solve that problem and you can give the solution to the Kaggle, and if that solution is really good, now you are going to get the award. so you will be getting the money. So this is how the organization started this innovative way in which the task can be given to the other persons whom we don't know also. Now right now even you people also can subscribe or can sign up into a Kaggle, now wherein which every day, every week, lot of problems they will be posting in their website related to the analytics and related to the various predictive model or other type of models. So you can sign up. It is a free. You can just sign up. Whatever problems the other community are facing or any other organizations are facing, you will be getting that problem as a small task. Now you can try to solve that particular task, wherein once you solve that particular task, so you will be getting a lot of cash prizes as an incentives or etc. Even there is a chance that you might be hired in as a job also for in the various organizations. So this is how this crowdsourcing is really picking up in the industry right now. Now if you go into further, if you try to look into this, now we have different types of crowdsourcings are there. Now here we have just listed only few type of crowdsourcing, like say for crowd voting. Right now, this is one simple way in which, say for example, you might have seen lot of television shows started with what is that? You have lot of shows are coming wherein which they ask the clients or the viewers to give voting for the particular contestants. You can name recently it is coming like say what is that, Big Boss it might be, or any singing competitions. There are a lot of programs which are coming in the television where they ask the viewers to give the voting on different contestants, right? We can call it as crowd voting. So based on whichever contestant is getting more number of votes, they might be declaring him as the winner or etc. Now you have got something in crowdsourcing called crowd purchasing, right? Now you might have seen say for example Amazon or Flipkart or other online shopping organization. What they do is they put crowd purchasing. So from this date to this date we are going to give a discount. So for 2 days or 3 days there will be huge discount, so that huge crowd or more number of people can do the purchase because the prices they have reduced on that particular day. So crowd purchasing. Similarly, wisdom of crowds is there. So where a lot of websites are there wherein which you can get the solutions, right? Like say for example, so you have a lot of website related to the C or C++, say open source websites are there. Now wherein which if you put some problems whatever you are facing, now there are certain specialists or we can say the programmers or the expert, domain expert, now who tries to give you the solution. So we can call it as a wisdom of crowdfunding is there. So we have various NGOs or the organizations who try to collect, say for example, especially in the health sector, there are so many people who are facing with so much of diseases to overcome that they can't invest, they don't have the financial support. So what they do, these NGOs or this organization in their website, they based for that particular persons or the patient, they try to collect the funds, and that funds has been utilized properly. So you have crowd funding is there, crowd contest is there. So these are the few examples wherein which the crowdsourcing is been done. And even we can see some of the example, like say we have got 99design.com, so where it is a crowdsourcing for graphic design. So they give lot of contest will be available for us, so depending upon particular area. Now any people who are interested in graphic design, they can take up that challenge, do a beautiful design. Like say for example in our college, when we have the college fest and all, so the particular programming committee, they put some contest, right? Now like say web design, so whichever department, whichever students are coming up with a good front page design, cover design, website design, they will be getting rewards or incentives like this. We have 99 design which is related to graphic design. We have agentanything.com. Now this is another site wherein which you can also log in, sign up to this, which they post some missions, right? There are certain missions. Now you can act like an hidden agent, so you can try to solve that particular problem. So we have various applications, or we can say various organizations who are into this particular crowd sourcing. So this is what one simple and very important topic what we have discussed. Moving to the next topic, now we'll look into the intra and trans firewall analytics. Now what it actually means. So when you look into the term intra, trans, firewall analytics, you will be a little bit confused, but it is a very simple concept what we are having. Now as if you look into any supply chain management or value chain management right now, how the organization are working, as we already know that the data is very important for us, analyzing the data is very important for us, so that we can grow ahead in our business or the economy of a particular country. So in this era of this data and analytical analytical techniques what we are having plays a very important role for us, especially in the supply chain management, so or the value chain organization. So now when we are talking of the supply chain management and the companies who are involved in this, now there are so many companies who are involved, who collaborate in order to give satisfaction to the end customers, right? Say for example, now this diagram, it will be very clear for us to understand what actually it means by a supply chain management. Now you can take any organization. In general, we have got some raw materials, right? Say for example, if you are talking of steel manufacturing organization. Now in order to manufacture a steel and give a full product, now we need iron ore, so we need some raw materials. So raw materials are being provided by some companies. Raw material is there in somewhere else. Now that raw materials from one company, it comes to the some other company for processing, right? So from that raw material you have to extract some components, because what is the required component for that manufacturing a steel. So all those components are being extracted. So that component goes to the manufacturing organization. Now this is another company. So once these manufacturer with the component, they try to manufacture and they send that to the retailers. So there might be some other organization with that the raw material, they try to make a finished goods from that. So once the goods are been finished, now it is going to the retailer shop. So from retailer it reaches the customer, right? So we see that there is a supply chain. So for any organization, there is a complete supply chain. So not only this, what we are taking of raw material supplying companies or component manufacturing companies or the product manufacturing company, in between there is logistics, because raw material is present in somewhere part of the in India or the globe. Component manufacturing companies are different. So from here to transport, we need logistics. So everywhere the logistic chain is also another important thing. Now when we look into this value chain or supply chain industries, you know that there are so many organizations who are building or who are supposed to work properly, coordinate properly, such that you are going to satisfy the end customer. Now some specific examples are given in the book. As we can see, healthcare industry. Now when you're talking of healthcare industry, we can talk of let us say hospitals, right? So that is one organization wherein which we have doctors and all the thing, and we have got let us say the drug manufacturing company or the pharmacies who provide a lot of drugs. We can talk about health insurance, right? Insurance provider, again insurance provider is another company. All these are supposed to be working in together, such that at the end user or the patient, how he is going to benefit, right? It can be. So now what is happening is that, so till now, or you can say in the past, how these organizations in the supply chain used to work is, so we were working as a solo based company, that means as an individual organization. So as an organization, the data was present, you are just analyzing that, okay, how my organization is working, how we are doing the things, etc. But now the paradigm has shifted. Now the way in which the industry is thinking is completely changed, because of the data and because of analytics or all the thing. So how these industries are moving? They are moving from intra, right? Intra means within the organization. This is what the title of our topic, what we are discussing today, the intra, inter and trans firewall. So intra, within the organization, like say for example, now you have a small organization, okay, some product you are going to manufacture. So now within the campus now, or within one particular locality, you have started up your organization. So whatever the data is moving and how you are doing the analysis of this particular data or your business, so that you can improve. Now everything is intra, that means within the organization only we are thinking, all the think tanks or the top level management, they are just thinking that how we can improve the business, how we can satisfy the customer or the product, etc. So now what they are doing is that previously the companies were just working on this, right? But current what they are doing is that now they are going to across the organization, right? So it becomes from intra, we are going to inter organization. So say for example, even if this company is very big, so today you have only one office in or one industry in Bangalore, so after 1 year you might have set up the other branches of branch office in different states, right? Or it can be a different district in one particular state. So now you are going to collect the data, try to organize or try to analyze all the data inter organization. Maybe it's of only your own company, but it is inter. So from all the branch office you are going to analyze the data and see that how it is going to work. No, but only with across the organization you cannot build the business, you cannot improve the business, you cannot make the business. So ultimately your goal is that okay, today your customers are satisfied only in Bangalore, now tomorrow you want to reach other parts, right? So now it is crossing the trans firewall. So this the third word what we are using, the trans firewall. Now what the companies are doing is that in order to satisfy the customers, in order to do their business properly, not only they are doing analysis of the data within intra, that is within the organization or across the organization, they are taking help of some people who are completely away from your chain, right? Away from your completely chain. Like say for example, you talk of social media, say WhatsApp or Facebook or any other. So there are so many social media. From there you take some feedback or some comment from various other persons, right? Now those people may not be directly involved with your product, so he is not at all a customer, but you are trying to get the data from him, you are going to get the comment from him, or you are trying to reach out to that particular people also. So that what we call it as the trans firewall. So you are crossing your boundary apart from your organization to completely outside. So we can say you are going out of your supply chain. You had one particular supply chain in which your organization is working. From here you are shifting your paradigm to the social website, social companies or social media data, or the people who are there in the other part of the globe, but they are very valuable also. They might be giving some insight or about the thing. This is how the entire paradigm has shifted from the intra organization to trans firewall. So what we say here, the firewall means it is just what we are saying, that we have some security aspects coming into the picture when you are working with only one organization, or when you talk of across the organization, and when you are going to a public domain, social site. So you have to cross the firewalls because there are a lot of security concepts are there. This is how the term what we say the intra and trans firewall analytics is that. So if you look into this particular diagram, now down here we can see these are all the intra firewall. That means within an organization, from one from this might be a one department, this is another department, in these, from these various department in the same organization, you are going to collect the data and you try to analyze that particular data. But later what is happening is that you are going, not only you are collecting from the same locality, so you go to the other branches of your same organization, which we call it as a inter firewall. So you are breaking this from your same locality, you are breaking it to the other, or you are going to collaborate with the other organization, same organization situated in different places, right? So you are going to collaborate with all the different branch office of your organization, try to collect the data, and you are going to work. And the third, trans firewall, means now you are crossing this firewall and going into the public domain. So it might be social media, or like say location data, web analytics trends, and all the other ways in which you can collect that particular data. So this is what the topic says that. But when you look here, now you might be getting some problems also. There are certain various important problems to be discussed here, because as soon as when you are inside your supply chain, so you are you can say you have related to your organization, but once you cross it to a social media, once you cross it into a public domain, so now you have got some problems. So one of the problem here is that high information to noise ratio. So this we call it as there is an information noise ratio. So because whatever the data you are going to collect from the various people who are in the social media, there is some noise involved in that. There might be some errors involved in that, because how you are going to trust that whatever the comments they are going to give, is it valued, right? So that is why nowadays even we have got sentiment analysis, all those things comes into the picture in order to overcome this particular challenge, high information to noise ratio. Now there is another diagram which shows how the inter and trans firewall, like say value chain, that's what we discussed about the health sector, pharmacy, drug maker, insurance company, how all these are going to work with it. So now once these are going outside the value chain, in some social media you might be giving lot of advertisement about the insurance or about the health sector, etc., and how they are going to give the comment, and from them how you can improve your services to your end customer. So and when you are going for a trans firewall, now the customers, how you are going to interact with the customers who are completely outside from the social media, but the main problem or the challenges what you are going to face is that, so is it good for us? One is the information to noise ratio increases, right? So we need lot of additional requirement or additional tools are required so that you can reduce that particular noise, and also there is a fear of collaboration, right? As an organization, when you are going across the public and in a public domain, there might be certain fear that is it very good for us, whether the data what you are going to receive, is it compatible, or in the sense that is it relevant that I can take some decision on that. So lot of fear also will be there when you are going to collaborate from your organization and you directly go into the public domain. So this is another important topic what we have discussed today, that is inter, intra and trans firewall analytics. Let's come to the third important topic today. So R&D approaches, right? Now how R&D is going to, or how the organizations are going to look into this particular R&D, because as we know that innovation is very, very important, right? So there are a lot of problems, there are a lot of challenges are there. So all organizations, they are supposed to innovate. So even you as a student or as an younger generation, so if you don't innovate, right? So if you don't innovate, so it is very difficult for us to sustain in the organization. So if you really want to sustain in the organization, you have to come up with new ideas, right? So you can see that recently you are seeing that now everybody are locked down inside. In this lockdown period, so much of innovative things are coming, as you might have experienced also. Like this only, any business or any organization, if they want to sustain for longer period of time in the market, if they really want to sustain in the market with to satisfying the existing customer, as well as to acquire new customer and improve your business, make the profit and serve the community as well as the customer, you have to do innovation, right? There should be an research and development. So that is why many organizations, if they don't do innovative, if they don't put money in R&D, if they don't have research and development, so the entire organization may collapse. Like a simple example, you can talk of the Nokia. So you know that few decades back, when the smartphone, all these things came into the picture, so whenever in India especially, whenever we are talking of the mobile phone, only we were having Nokia set, right? So Samsung was there and Nokia was there, not smartphone. So but that Nokia was ruling the complete industry. So whenever anybody you ask which phone they are using, they were just talking Nokia, right? but the organization, they were doing well, but they did not focus for future. So there was no proper R&D, there was no proper innovative thing, because suddenly in the market, when the smartphone came to the picture, they were not in that particular position so that they can capture the market. And today you see that what has happened to that company name, right? So this is how what we say that the R&D approaches really, it helps to adopt new technologies. So today why we are getting new technologies, only because of research and development. So every organization now, they have to put their talent workforce into the research and development. So we see that now many companies, they have got a separate wing itself, which is called as R&D wing. So whose task is to do some innovation, because if we do the innovation, then only new concepts will come. Now that from that particular concept, new technology will come, and you can implement that particular technology, and the cycle keeps on growing. This is how we are supposed to grow. That is why we see that really this R&D or the innovation, really it helps us to get or come into the new technology. So these are the three important topics what we have tried to cover in this particular series. So what are the three things we have covered in this series? The crowdsourcing, the intra and trans firewall analytics, and how the research and development is going to work. So with the end of this particular series, now we have completely covered the entire 2 modules as per the syllabus, and we have seen in detail. So in the next series, now we will be going into the 3rd module, and which is a very small module, but now we start completely our journey into the Hadoop, right? So from the next module onwards, now we are going into the one big data technology related to the storing, because we have seen that under big data technology we have so many big data technologies are available, but we will go into the one big data technology that is under this, which comes under one feature, that is the storing, now which is called as Hadoop. So we will be starting our journey with some basic concepts, and we will be going in detail about the Hadoop feature. So that we will be covering from our next